what's up, everyone? For Sunday night of December 5th, 2021, Lee Sanders here. You're checking out an all-new The RCWR Show, covering the latest in all things wrestling, entertainment, and beyond since 2011. We are here once again, less than 24 hours after we did our NWA Hard Times 2 pay-per-view post-show. By the way, shout out to those of you that represented and you checked out that post-show. If you have not yet, it is available on demand. Audio listeners, I know you guys out there love your audio. It's available wherever you get your podcast. Just search the RCWR Show. But here we are less than 24 hours later, and we are here covering NXT War Games 2021 Fallout for this Sunday. Look, pretty decent pay-per-view event on Peacock overall / WWE Network overall. A little bit long-winded in a lot of areas. I think many of us would definitely agree to that, but overall, an enjoyable time. Honestly, I got 2 polls up asking what did you guys think about tonight's NXT War Games 2021. Sound off. We got a poll up on YouTube over in the community section. We also got a poll up on Twitter at the RCWR Show. Feel free to give a follow over there as well. Twitter at the RCWR Show. Look, 5 matches pre-show. A lot of mystery surrounding what's going on with Johnny Gargano. What's going on with Kyle O'Reilly? Are they going to stay? Are they going to go? What exactly is going on with these men? And when you look at how everything played out tonight, we're still left scratching our heads, wondering just what exactly does the future hold for both men, more so in Johnny Gargano. There's a lot more interest in Johnny Gargano as there is with Kyle O'Reilly, but you definitely got your fans that are most curious, wondering what's going on with both men. So look, let's address Johnny Gargano and Kyle O'Reilly up front, right? I mean, we could easily just later on into the show, but let's just dive with that off the break. And credit to VEICHLE, because they're the ones that pretty much really been getting the ball rolling according to the information they've been able to gather up from their respected sources. But the way things are looking right now, both men are expected to appear at Tuesday's NXT taping. Now, as we all know, Johnny Gargano, again, VEICHLE, among the first to put the information out there, Johnny Gargano had signed some type of an extension with WWE to work an additional week. So keeping all of those things in mind, and then as far as what's going on with Kyle O'Reilly, mum is the word right now. There really is no information out there as far as what's going on with Kyle O'Reilly as VEICHLE again, and very few people I trust as far as information reporting and all that. If it's not Meltzer, although I always say Meltzer, take it with a grain of salt, because sometimes he is hit and miss. He really don't know, and you can tell when he's trying to make something out of nothing. But Sean Ross Sapp and the good people over there at VEICHLE, they're pretty, and I like the fact that on the rare occasions when they do mess up with their reporting, they man up, they take self-accountability. But it's very seldom you find the folks over there at VEICHLE to be off the mark. But from what they're gathering from their sources, a higher up in WWE basically said, the way it's looking right now, both men are said to be on the way out, but that in a best case, worst case scenario, if they were able to get both men, because make no mistake about it, WWE is interested in continuing to have the services of both men, and both men have been given lucrative offers. And the worst case, best case scenario is they're able to maintain both guys. They're able to hold on to them under new deals, but that one of them could be gone for an extended period of time. Now, I don't know about you, but when I hear that, I'm just going with some of the things that we've recently seen on NXT programming. We know for a minute there, O'Reilly was gone, and then ultimately he came back So as far as process of elimination, I would imagine Gargano is maybe going to be the one that would leave for a hot little bit. You know, I guess it really depends whenever Candice LeRae is due. And I believe, don't quote me, but I believe she's due sometime between January to March, if I'm not mistaken. So I could easily see Gargano being away for a little bit, coming back, maybe even having a lighter schedule. You know, I don't know if it's going to be something along the lines of a Randy Orton HBK schedule or whatnot. But as it stands tonight, you know, there's so much speculation. All we can really run with is what's been put out there, and then what we've seen with our own two eyes when we look at this War Games pay-per-view event. One thing is for certain, we're definitely going to be seeing both men, at least on this coming week's NXT show, as there was a big challenge that was put out there by one of the men. We'll talk a lot more about that in a hot minute. So, of course, NXT, they did have their pre-show matchup. There was a dark match that had came about. I sadly did not check this out. I don't know if it was like a pre-show or if it was a dark match. I'm actually looking at the card right now, and I'm not seeing anything about a pre-show matchup. So it looks like it was most likely a dark match. If you guys can actually indulge me for a quick second, I can actually tell you what that dark match had consisted of here. Yes, I'm looking at it right now. The dark match was Odyssey Jones defeating Andre Chase. Again, that was a dark match. There was no pre-show match for War Games this go around. So those of you that were enjoying your football like me earlier tonight and you thought you were getting ready to miss out on something, you didn't miss anything. Actual pay-per-view, we go. We had the War Games women's match. Raquel Gonzalez, Io Shirai, Cora, Jade, Kaylee Ray defeating Dakota Kai, Toxic Attractions, Mandy Rose, Gigi Dolan, JC Jane. Okay. There's a lot of good spots that went down in this match. I cannot deny that. By the way, this match ran about, a lot of people kept saying 40 minutes. I saw even some people say 42 minutes, 45 minutes. There was just this great exaggeration of how long this women's match was. And I've been getting into the habit ever since I started reviewing AEW Rampage for 411 Mania as a contributor and reporter. I've been getting in the habit of having a stopwatch on me while I'm watching my AEW matches. And as a result of doing so, it's basically the stopwatch effect. It's basically bled over into all the other shows that I'm watching. It's like I got my tablet right there while I'm taking notes anyway, so I just hit the stopwatch. So force a habit, basically, right? Just a nice little habit. It was nowhere near what these people are talking about. So if you see the reports out there from people saying, oh, this match was too long, it went 40-something minutes, it went 45 minutes, that actually wasn't the case at all. The match was only 30 minutes. Now, granted, 30 minutes, a little bit too long. I definitely will admit that. But let's stop with the inaccurate reporting that it was 40 minutes, 45 minutes. It was nothing like that. Some people even have the audacity to say, oh, this pretty much took up the whole hour. Hour one's now in the books because of this. No, it was only 30 minutes of a match by my stopwatch. They definitely could have trimmed this. They could have trimmed this. They should have trimmed this. For me, if you ask me what was a better number, somewhere around 20, maybe 21 minutes of a match they should have gone with. And I got to be honest with you all, because that's what you all have come to expect here on the show. With the exception of Io Shirai, as far as, okay, who is truly that in-ring general? Who is truly that veteran that's going to do her best to make sure not only does her shit come off looking good, but whoever she's working with, they're all right. Everything's going to flow perfectly. You know, we got some women here that pretty much know what all is supposed to be going down, who's supposed to be doing what at a particular time, and all of that, just in case somebody forgets their spot or whatever, right? They get clued in and everything. With the exception of Io Shirai, and I would even have to kind of give a little bit of a nod there to Gigi Dolan. It just felt like all the other girls were deers in headlights. I'd love to hear from you guys if you picked up that same vibe when you were watching this match. There were a lot of spots in here where it came off just like you were watching a train wreck that was about to come to a disastrous conclusion at times. You know, it was just a lot of stalling. You know, trying to figure out, like, okay, where are we supposed to be? Where's the next setup? You know, a lot of stalling, things of that nature. But when it counted the most, and okay, you know, let's go do this. Let's do this spot right here, right? I'll give you a perfect example. Cora Jade. I know a lot of people were pretty big tonight on Cora Jade. I saw some references out there where some felt that she was a nice little miniature version of, if not AJ Lee, then of Sky Blue, right? So I saw those nice little comparisons that were running around there. And she had a really nice spot. It was sweet until it came to the execution. She goes to the top of the steel cage structure, and she does this dive off of it as she's getting ready to crash into JC Lane, who's set up on the table. And you got to watch this if you didn't see War Games yet. But when she does the leap off the top of the steel structure, and as she's getting ready to crash into JC Lane, it's almost as if she decided within a split second or two, oh, you know what would be even better? Instead of maybe trying to do a body splash, let me just maneuver my body and do it in a way where I'm kind of doing a back moonsault corkscrew, if you will. You got to go back and you got to watch it yourself, because when she's first doing the move, you're like, oh, okay, all right, so she's going for a nice little crossbody splash, little body cross splash. Okay, all right, cool. But then the way she twists her body, when you watch it back, this girl came this close to seriously fucking up her head and her neck. I BS you not. I wish I was exaggerating, but yes, no. And it was interesting because prior to watching tonight's War Games, if you are a WWE Peacock subscriber, basically, you got a notification in the email that basically let you know the following: on most devices, you will not be able to restart and rewind the live stream NXT War Games. So be sure to start watching live at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Kickoff starts at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Full replay, including rewind functionality of NXT War Games, will be available following the conclusion of the live stream event. I know, it sucks. It sucks that we're still not able to do the live rewind and everything. I mean, we can pretty much do it with anything else in regards to our cable, satellite packages and all that, but we couldn't do it just yet. But, you know, it is what it is. But I didn't need the rewind function when I saw the spot that went down with Cora Jade. And I was just, I was yelling at the TV when I saw that spot. I'm like, what the fuck? I literally yelled, what the fuck was she thinking? And, you know, my wife just happens to walk right past the studio. She's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, this girl, like, she damn near broke her neck. And I was telling her what had happened and everything. And it was scary. It was definitely scary. I was very, very concerned about Cora Jade there. But I was very ecstatic to see that, you know, because my main concern was her head and her neck. Those were my main two concerns, was the head and the neck. And once I saw she was moving around and everything, I just said, okay, Great. Then I see she starts selling her left arm. I'm going, okay, this is obviously a setup for something on a bigger scale later on. That arm's going to come into play somehow. Sure enough, we saw how it came into play. I actually like the spot because at one point later on, we saw officials, EMTs, they were trying to get Cora Jade out of the ring. And Io Shirai said, no, I got this. Let me do my thing. I got her. So she brings her back into the ring. And the officials are like, Io, we got to get her out. She's injured. And Io's like, no, I got this. Let me take care of this. She actually shuts the gate. And she's just trying to do her best to console Cora, but basically pops Cora's arm back in place. Just badass. Love that. Just the whole visual aspect and everything, the way that it was sold. Love that. That was freaking badass right there. There was another spot though, but besides that spot that Cora Jade did, which was just nerve-wracking, there was another spot that was pretty okay. What the hell? You would have thought that this would have been executed beautifully during rehearsal, but obviously, maybe it's safe to say they didn't do any rehearsals for it, but you had a point where Raquel Gonzalez comes out. And once she comes out, she decides she's going under the ring. She's grabbing a fire extinguisher prop. And the two girls that were in the ring, kind of in the corner, definitely directly in the vicinity of where Gonzalez got her fire extinguisher, and she's looking right at them, and she's literally trying to spray them with that bad boy. She's not able to get it going. And you just got freaking, I'm trying to think which girls it was. I think it was Gigi and Dakota Kai that were in that vicinity. They're just standing there. They're waiting to get sprayed. They're waiting. It felt like an eternity. It's only seconds, but you're looking at this and you're like, come on, get hit already. And so Raquel's fiddling around with this, like, oh, this one. Right, but you just saw this awkward stall. So there was kind of a lot of that was going on in this women's War Games match. A lot of stalling, a lot of okay, where am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to? Yeah. I didn't like that. I didn't like that one little bit. You spin me round, round, baby, round, round, like a go round, round. I'm singing that song because there was also a spot that was actually good by Raquel Gonzalez, because she did redeem from that fire extinguisher spot where she put Dakota Kai in a trash can. I mean, she just put that tiny little thing of Dakota Kai, cute little thing, just put her in the trash can and was just spinning her around like freaking Thor's hammer and was just hitting people. Visually, I thought that was pretty cool. That definitely caught my attention and had me go, all right, this is something I haven't seen before. That's kind of badass. From there were some spots where I remember Io Shirai did a backflip moonsault onto Dakota while Dakota was still in the trash can. Thought that was kind of spot. They went to the well on Dakota Kai in the trash can a couple of times there. I didn't have a problem with that whatsoever. Pretty good spot. End result, we ended up seeing Cora Jade, injured arm and all, seeing an opportunity and grabbing it as she went in for a cover on JC Jane from pretty much out of nowhere to end the match and give the team of Raquel Gonzalez, Io Shirai, Cora Jade, Kaylee Ray the victory over Toxic Attraction and Dakota Kai. Wasn't really a fan of the commentary during this match as well. They were trying to set it up in a way where you, the viewer, were left with the impression that Toxic Attraction were the underdogs in this match. And I was just kind of having a hard time really buying in to that concept, quite honestly. But yeah, going back to what I had said initially about this match, for me, as far as, which girls really came in there and they had their shit down, they knew their spots, and, everything just clicked. Whoever they were working with, everything was for the most part on point. Io Shirai, for sure. And definitely Gigi Dolan. I got to tell you, man, I'm really, really... And you know what? For what it was worth, because she is an in-ring veteran in her own right, too. I've kind of followed her work off and on for just a couple of years. Not as lengthy as some of the other girls I've followed as far as their in-ring work and stuff over the years, but not for nothing. Kaylee Ray. Kaylee Ray is actually another one that I definitely got to give her her respective flowers besides Io Shirai and Gigi Dolan. But the other girls, even Mandy Rose, there was a couple of spots there where Mandy Rose was just looking kind of, what the hell? This really should have been trimmed down. It had no business being 30 minutes, especially given the fact that for most of these girls, this pretty much was their, first big outing in a match of this type of magnitude. Yeah, it definitely should have been trimmed down, because I always have a saying, look, you want to expose somebody and you want to see some flaws. The longer you have something go on, it's going to become more and more obvious what their weak points are going to be. So from there, we go to Imperium's Fabian Aichner and Marcel Barthel defeating Kyle O'Reilly and Von Wagner to retain their NXT tag team titles. I had this match going 14 minutes. Damn good. What really impressed me the most about this tag match? Fabian Aichner. I mean, he really took it to a whole new other level. I mean, he, for me, took it to that Cesaro level. I'm not bullshitting you guys. I was seeing a lot of what he was doing tonight just from a physical offense perspective. He really was reminding me a lot of Cesaro, and I don't mean that because, he's got the bald head, and no, just the toughness, just everything that he was doing, the way he was moving in the ring and everything, the way he was countering, it was very Cesaro-like. I mean, he really, really took his game up to another level, and I was quite impressed. Imperium, look, I'm not lying to you guys. Imperium, they definitely, in the whole Walter thing, I like Imperium. I do. I legit like Imperium. There was a part of me that when it came to Imperium several months back, I looked at the guys there in Aichner and Barthel and felt they don't really have enough of a flushed out personality, but at the same time, they're making up for it by going in there and having top-notch quality freaking matches. So can they essentially, and the answer is yes, they can make up for not really having much of a personality by letting their in-ring work speak for itself. And those guys, I could watch Fabian and Marcel, I can watch those guys all freaking day. This was my first real opportunity, by the way, to check out Von Wagner, because as most of you guys know that's been checking out the show on a weekly basis, or shows on a weekly basis, you all know I've tuned out of NXT within recent weeks. So for me, this was really my first true opportunity to see Von Wagner in in-ring action. And I gotta tell you, I liked his footwork. I did. His footwork, he's still green. He's still green. And look, those tights that he wore tonight, them tights gotta go. Seriously, them tights got to go. He needs to win his next match or something so he can get 5,000 virtual currency points and then go into the My CAW shop and see what he can buy as far as new gear goes. I was not feeling what my brother was wearing tonight. It just looks so... It wasn't even generic CAW insulting, right? It wasn't even anything like that. I could just picture Green Man and Red Man just looking at Von Wagner going, dude, you wearing that? Seriously, you're wearing that shit to the ring? I mean, it was that generic. But no, Von Wagner, he's coming along. I gotta say, first impressions and everything, I like the young man. I like the young man. But he's got a lot cut out for him. That's the main thing that you got to remember when you're watching a lot of these new men and women that are part of this new wave of NXT and everything. And that's, we got to get accustomed to, gone are those days where some of our favorites from Impact Wrestling or Ring of Honor, they're going to be gracing us with their appearance in NXT and everything. And, essentially NXT is has this big glorified, indie fed type of vibe to it. Gone are those days. This is officially now the era of what WWE has essentially always wanted with NXT, which is, we want to go back to the OVW days, back when Danny Davis was doing his thing, back when Jim Cornette was involved and he had a hand in bringing up some of the stars that you've seen play before your eyes, and a Shelton Benjamin, a Brock Lesnar, a Dave Bautista, John Cena, et cetera, right? So, for a lot of these young men and women that we're seeing, I know I found myself many times during this pay-per-view event just kind of saying, right? But I'm also trying to keep in mind, remember, this is still a early canvas that you're seeing with some of these men and women. They're still trying to piece it all together. You got to give them time. But I'm sorry, but there's some people I just honestly felt, yeah, you know what? I don't know. Even at that, it's like, okay, you tell me I got to give you some time. I don't know if I can give you time. I don't know if the WWE fans are going to be willing to give some of these people some time. But in a guy like Von Wagner, nice size, great height to him and everything, I can see him going, I can definitely see him going a few places. I can definitely see him going a few places. Let's pick it up as far as key moments go in this matchup. Again, that went 14 minutes long. Closing moments of this one, we saw Fabian Aichner. He was staggering in the corner. Barthel ends up making a blind tag. Barthel heads up to the top, connects with the Imperial Bomb to pretty much give the team the victory. Post-match is where things had got pretty salty, as after the match, fans began chanting, "Thank you, Cal," as they felt this is probably the last time they're going to be seeing him. Wagner, we then see, try turning on Kyle O'Reilly and try to level him with a clothesline. But O'Reilly managed to duck, and he leveled Wagner as he made his way out of the ring and was trash-talking Wagner. Now, we would find out later on during the show tonight, as cameras caught up backstage with Kyle O'Reilly, and he pretty much told the backstage interviewer, hey, as far as Von Wagner goes, Wagner, you didn't think I saw you betraying me a mile away? You didn't think I was prepared for that? You got another thing coming. You want to put your hands on me? You want a piece of me so bad? Tell you what, this coming Tuesday, you're going to get your wish. We're going to make sure that the cages remain intact because I want you one-on-one inside a steel cage. So that's what's going to be going down on Tuesday's NXT. I would imagine, since it's going to be a steel cage, we're going to be seeing those guys in the main event. So we'll see what happens there. But for me, the real major takeaway from this tag match was just that friendly reminder of just how damn good Imperium is, honestly. Right down to the point of King Hardy's comment just now in the chat saying Imperium are often overlooked, in his opinion. Lots of people think they wouldn't be much without Walter. I don't know about that. I think the people that are saying stuff like that, I can't help but wonder if they're watching enough of NXT and or NXT UK. You maybe could have made that argument for them several months back, but I definitely would say, as far as the year of 2021 goes, maybe even the tail end of 2020, I would definitely say, really, upon further reflection, that Imperium has really stepped their game up big time. They stepped their game up big time. I personally would love to see those guys up on the main roster, mainly as free agents. I would love to see them just lock it up with various tag teams in the Usos, New Day, Academy there. There's so many great tag teams. I think Viking Raiders. There's a lot of Humberto Carrillo and Garza. I would love to see those guys tear it up on the main roster there. I think they would take the tag division to that next level, without a shadow of doubt. Without a shadow of doubt. We're going to talk about our next matchup next. By the way, guys, there was only a grand total of 5 matches. There were no pre-show matches. Only 5 matches total that we had got. So we're already up to our 3rd match, which, by the way, if you guys been enjoying this pay-per-view recap show so far, you haven't done so yet, make sure you hit that like button. When you do that, first of all, it's free, and you really help spread the word about our content. Really helps out as far as recommendations go and all that. And feel free to subscribe as well, so you don't miss out on future content that comes your way. I see we've been picking up a decent amount of subs past couple of weeks. Y'all know exactly who you are that have subs, so definitely want to shout you guys out. Much love is always appreciated. Hair versus hair match. Cameron Grimes versus Duke Hudson. By the way, for those of you that may be a little bit curious about how I did on takeover predictions here, because I did go into my picks. I think we went into picks on this past Wednesday's RCWR show. And just looking at the card here, bear with me a second here. Looking at the card here, I would say there was one. I got to go back and listen to Wednesday's show, but it looks like there was only one match I did not get right. There was one match I did not get right. What I did get right, Cameron Grimes defeating Duke Hudson. A lot of people were under the impression that Cameron Grimes was going to be the one to lose this. I didn't see it happening. I don't know why, guys. I did not see it happening, but I'm not going to lie to you guys. I never expected that Duke Hudson would be a sore loser. But when you really stop and think about it, it's like, no, it actually is his MO. So like, what the hell? So I actually like the way the end result came about with this match. Look, the match itself, which was about another misconception right here. A lot of people are stretching this match out. A lot of people are going with like 10, 11, 12, 13 minutes of a match for Cameron Grimes taking on Duke Hudson. No, I pretty much had this match at about 10 minutes at most. If it was even that, I had this at about 10 minutes at most. Pretty short, sweet, right to the freaking point. Let me see if I got this straight. So on NXT programming, they actually did a poker match in the middle of the ring. I just kind of shook my head when I saw that. I'm going, what's next? We're going to have these guys, not necessarily Cameron and Duke, but it's like, what's next? We're going to have guys in the ring playing Uno, and like when Uno goes wrong, right? Draw 4 and we got an instant Acme feud that way. Like, what the hell? I just couldn't help but kind of chuckle at some of that stuff that I was seeing there. But this match, real cut and dry. Picking it up towards the end here, Duke Hudson tried to go for a razor's edge on Cameron Grimes in a corner, but Grimes manages to counter it, rolls up Hudson, and that was pretty much how he got a 3 count. After the match, Hudson knocked out Cameron Grimes, put him in the barber's chair, and you're going, okay, so our man's being a sore loser, and Cameron Grimes is going to lose that trademark hair and beard. Oh, no. But Cameron Grimes manages to get out of that chair. He pops out of it, connects with the cave-in on Duke Hudson, puts Hudson in the chair, and barely starts shaving my man's hair. And it was interesting because when the camera got in real close, they did a nice tight close-up on when Cameron was shaving the middle section of Hudson's hair. He looked like Brian Danielson. I bullshit you not. If you've never looked at Duke Hudson in that way before, just go back. And I know a lot of you guys that's going to be making your rounds, you're going to end up checking out the pay-per-view on the Rebound or whatever. Just go back, and when you get to that scene, now that you're going to have instant pause and rewind and all that, just pause and he looks a lot like Daniel Bryan. So, me personally, I've seen better hair versus hair matches. Was this one of the best hair versus hair matches? No, it wasn't. I kind of feel as though fans got a little bit shortchanged in this one because, all we basically are going to be looking forward to in the near future is Duke Hudson pretty much having a after 5 shadow of a hairline, and he's pretty much still going to be pushing his beard. Whoopie freaking do. That's really it. So, this was nothing. This was really nothing. This was probably, if I got to be brutally honest, one of the low points of the pay-per-view. Honestly, not needed for the show. Honestly, just a filler match when it's all said and done. But, and normally when I think about hair versus hair matches, when I think about that, I normally think of a bitter feud that has just been going on for several weeks, couple of months, and we just pretty much got to this hot boiling point here, and I never really, even though I missed a few weeks of NXT, the little bit that I did see involving Cameron and Hudson early on, it was just, decent little match that they had tonight for what it was worth. Glad they didn't go overkill and they didn't go about 15, something minutes or whatever, but it is what it is. Next matchup, a lot of people were under the impression here that it was going to be the end of the Cruiserweight Championship because you got the rumors that's floating around here that apparently WWE is thinking about retiring the Cruiserweight Championship since it's got that silly little weight effect. You gotta be like 205 to basically be in the respective division to compete for that championship and everything. Roderick Strong defending the Cruiserweight Championship against Joe Gacy. Roderick Strong retaining the championship. This, of all the matches of the entire card, was the shortest. 8 minutes and some change. Again, 8 minutes and some change. I was quite taken back because of all the matches, I got to tell you, Joe Gacy, Roderick Strong, I actually was looking forward to this. I legit felt that if there was any match that was going to be a sleeper hit, people didn't see this one coming and being damn good, I felt Roderick Strong, Joe Gacy was going to be that match. And just the little tiny bit that we saw in the 8 minutes that we got these guys, it was one of those, they were in first gear, but they never really took it to that next gear. It never really went up to that next level. And that's what was so heartbreaking, honestly. I'm hoping that maybe we're not done with Strong and Gacy and we're going to be seeing them continue on here. The way it's been laid out the past couple of weeks, you kind of have that impression, quite honestly. But I don't know, man. I don't know. That Cruiserweight Championship has felt, I'm being real, that Cruiserweight Championship has felt worthless for a long time. Long time. The last time that Cruiserweight Championship meant anything to a wrestling fan, majority of wrestling fans at that, was when Enzo was running around with it, was when Neville was running around with it. Austin Aries. You know, not for nothing, you also got to give a respected nod to Drew Gulak. Drew Gulak, for what it was worth, he was doing phenomenal. You can even give an honorable mention to freaking Tony Nese, right? But, I mean, once you get outside of those names, it's just pretty much been, yeah, you know, so I don't blame anybody that was looking at this match. I mean, I even was right there with you guys. I felt that Joe Gacy was probably going to get this. I even said Joe Gacy for the dub, just to kind of switch things up, make it even more interesting. You know, I felt that it was going to be a bigger setup for either going in a different direction with the Cruiserweight Championship. I just felt something of great magnitude was going to happen to that title. I don't know, now that I am talking about it now versus when I was going over predictions a couple of days ago, I don't know if maybe I kind of had the hindsight of maybe through Joe Gacy and Harlan, they retire the championship. I don't know if maybe I was kind of going down that path, but I kind of felt that something needed to be shaken up there with that Cruiserweight Championship. But it's felt worthless for a long time, and I definitely was hoping, I'm sure like many of you, that Joe Gacy was going to be the one to get it here, but, you know, it sadly didn't go in that direction. So, kind of sucks. Kind of sucks, but yeah, okay match. You know, it was average match at most. So the last two matches, you keeping track, you're paying attention to my body language, my tone. Last two matches here, just, you know, if you got to go from A to F, I got to give those two matches C's. As far as Imperium taking on Kyle O'Reilly, Von Wagner, I'd give that one a B-. For the women's War Games match, I'm giving that one a C+. I'm giving that one a C+. That leaves one match now. Yeah. Wow. We're already to our next matchup. Main event, War Games, T2.0's Braun Breaker. Oh, hold on. Before we get to that, we saw another Ickman Euro video. This must have been a Vince McMahon audible. That's all I got to say, because Jiro this time was kicking back, eating boatloads of pizza and ice cream. And he started to get the bubble guts. So he quickly runs to the bathroom. And for whatever respected reasons, we see him go to the toilet, and we hear him releasing the hounds. He's making brownies. I got $40 that says this was written for and by Vince McMahon. Because I'm just shaking my head. I'm just going, what the fuck? Seriously? Seriously, this is what we're doing with this guy. Talented young man, but this is what we're doing with him. We're doing bathroom jokes. Shit like this and a whole bunch of other stupid shit is what's making me not a fan of the new NXT right now. There's a particular reason why you look at the older age demographics for NXT 2.0, and they're attracting people that's like 60 and up. I don't know if you guys had heard about that. I mean, we can gladly talk about it a lot more on Monday's show, but there's a particular reason why you've got 60-plus-year-olds that's watching 2.0. There's some elements in it that's kind of reminding them of what they were watching back in the territorial days within reason. Add in the whole splash colors there, you know, that whole tie-dye my highway Woodstock effect with the colors, and it makes a lot of sense when you stop and think about it, right? Not to mention the hot babes that's running around. But I mean, just think about that for a second. Wait a minute, your most popular age demographic for this show that is supposed to be aimed towards like 14 to 20, whatever. No, your main demo is 60 plus. Just marinate on that. We'll talk more about it on Monday's show. Yeah. Oh, by the way, we also had got a video package for some black guy. Can y'all help me out that had watched NXT tonight? I don't know the name of this brother. I only saw his name one time. I'm trying to see if I got it in my notes here. No, all I got is some black guy. That's all I got. There's some black guy that's in a diner, restaurant, or whatever. It's nighttime, and he's got the little do-rag, and he's got, black long sleeve shirt on and everything, and he has a cup of coffee. And the way he's talking, he's pretty much like, oh, where did they get a load of me? I've been through so much in my life, but y'all ain't seen nothing yet. Just wait till I come to NXT. I mean, it was just my biggest problem with this fucking promo, vignette, whatever the fuck you want to call it. First of all, let me just start with a positive. I love the fact that we're doing these nice little vignettes from back in the day. I do appreciate that. We got these nice vignettes from these superstars coming soon, right? And we just I like that. I'm a big fan of that, right? I can't be crapping on that because I remember when 2.0 had officially started, I remember saying to you guys repeatedly, we can't just have these bunch of new guys on TV and expect for the fans to give a shit. We got to go in and we've got to do these nice little introduction packages and all that, do some vignettes and stuff, break the fans in, build up that familiarity with them and everything. So I got to give WWE and crew a lot of props for those standpoints, right? But this was just some low ball fucking energy. I wasn't sure if he was trying to convince himself, if he was trying to convince the fans why we should give a fuck about this dude. Let me see if I got this guy, because that's gonna bother me now. Let me see if I got this guy somewhere in my notes other than some black guy. Surely I had scribbled down a name in here. Let me see here. I'm just checking real quick. Hang on, guys. I'm just checking real quick. Yeah. I don't have. Hang on. NXT vignettes. Let me see. I might be able to figure it out this way. No. Somebody's gonna probably comment after the damn stream is over and tell me the name of this guy. But yeah, I don't have his name. That's sad. He reminded me of a young Leo Rush. He did. No bullshit. Reminded me of a young Leo Rush. But anyway, main event match, War Games 2.0's Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, Grayson Waller, Tony D'Angelo, taking on Team Black and Gold's Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, Pete Dunne, LA Knight. This match, according to my notes, this match went... Where are we here? This match went... Actually, I can look at my stopwatch right now. I had this match going 37 minutes, actually. Minus an additional few seconds. So about 37, 38 minutes at most. This match was Team 2.0 going over. Right move. Because honestly, I felt that the main talking point for this match was going to be, all right, who from 2.0 is going to be the guy to pin the NXT World Heavyweight Champion if they can pin the champ at all. Because you got, New Year's Evil right around the corner. So obviously you got to do some type of a nice, good setup going into that and everything. I thought the men in this one outperformed the women's War Game match. That's just me. That's just me. Braun Breaker, particularly, he did very good, you know, for a match of this magnitude. You know, all types of different elements and all that. I thought he did pretty good. Carmelo Hayes did exceptionally good as well. I even got to give it up for Tony D'Angelo. You know, we got to remember a lot of these guys, they're still extremely young in their professional wrestling careers. So, you know, this was a serious test for them, and all of them had rose to the occasion. I like that 6 spot that Tony D'Angelo did on Pete Dunne, by the way, where they were fighting in the corner. They were up on the turnbuckle, and D'Angelo pulls out Pete Dunne's mouth guard, puts it in his pocket like he's trying to keep a little souvenir. He's got this crowbar over the throat of Pete Dunne, and basically he launches himself and Pete Dunne off of that turnbuckle and turns it into like this sick-ass swinging neck breaker. Visually, it was kick-ass. It was kick-ass. I'm surprised stuff like that hasn't been put in a damn video game yet, to be honest with you. I'm looking at you, 2K. Hopefully we can get something as far as on the download, some future DLC in the near future goes. But yeah, that was a pretty damn good 6 spot. We even got the nice little reunion as we expected. We even got the nice reunion of DIY. That was badass. Nice little cameo from our boy Dexter Loomis, as he pretty much had sent Trick Williams running his little ass off. Closing moments of this matchup, Gargano was able to save Ciampa, and we got the one final beat to drop Breaker as Ciampa connected with the Willow's Bell on Waller. And there's a little meet up in the middle there as they're dropping Breaker for a 2 count. Hayes managed to pull the referee because we saw Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. They actually said, fuck it, it's going to take 2 of us to pin a big boy like Braun Breaker. Let's double team his ass. So they actually tried to cover him. They almost got the 3, but Carmelo Hayes ended up breaking it up there. From there, Hayes hits Gargano low, but gets kneed by Ciampa, who then is speared through a table by Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker follows up with a gorilla press slam to finish off Tommaso Ciampa. Great match. Great match. Big fight feel. Lot of sick-ass big spots in this one. But like with the other War Games matchup, and when you look at previous War Games, much too long, man. There's no need to trim this shit down. Seriously, just trim the shit down. But other than that, for this one, I'm just thinking about this match a little bit more. Nice level of violence that they had put in this one. Setting up a nice big finish was also pretty good. Speaking of finishes, when I go back and I look at some of the finishes that played out for this event, I want to go back a second. Imperium. You had a really, really nice spot that went down in the Imperium taking on O'Reilly and Von Wagner, where it was Ackner and O'Reilly. They were going back and forth. And you had this sick-ass little spot that went down where they were just clotheslining the shit out of each other. And then O'Reilly ended up getting like a death triangle hold submission on Fabian Ackner. And you're just kind of going, okay, this looks like it might be the finish right here. You're either going, okay, either somebody's about to pass out and we're about to get new tag team champions, or Ackner's going to somehow brilliantly counter out of this, turn it into some type of finishing move or whatever, and the match is going to be over right here. And yet somehow the match continued on. You know, there was definitely one running theme I had saw in most of these matches. Even to a degree, the main event War Games match, which was, okay, you know, you don't have to always go, okay, I've got this, 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 I got this, I've got this, I've got this. It's like you don't have to load the whole motherfucker up. You can just, there's some things you can just go without, right? Just get in, get out. When the getting is good, get out already, right? Don't keep adding on to it. But that was kind of a recurring theme that I kept seeing. Maybe with the exception of Cameron Grimes and Hudson, since that was just such a very short match, even Strong and Gacy within reason. Yeah, the other ones, you just felt like there were too many false finishes there. And that, okay, now it looks like it's over. No, well, no, it's not quite over just yet. What's going on here? That's just my 2 cents. I could be wrong about that, but the main event match, men's War Games, you know, it definitely some filler stuff that was in there until all the stuff went down with the weapon spots, all that, but definitely a bit long. Definitely a bit long. So to recap, Team Raquel Gonzalez defeating the team of Toxic Attraction, Dakota Kai. Imperium retaining their tag titles over Kyle O'Reilly, Von Wagner. Cameron Grimes defeats Duke Hudson. Hudson gets just a tiny little bit of his hair shaved off. Roderick Strong defeats Joe Gacy to retain his NXT Cruiserweight Championship, and Team 2.0 defeats Team Black and Gold. So that was pretty much the pay-per-view overall. Let's see what you guys had said for the polling results here. Let's see what you all are saying. Let's go to YouTube first. All right, youtube.com/the RCWR show. And we're going to check out the community poll that we got over there. Bam, there we go. Let's see what we got here for the community poll here. See how you guys voted. Shout out to Terrell. Shout out to, oh yeah, Little Fettuccine. That's what I used to call you. Little Fettuccine. I remember you. Steve Harris. Shout out to Frank. Shout out to King Hardy. Shout out to you lurkers out there. Let's see what we got in the communities tab here. We got it loading up. Survey says, where are we? All right, there we go. Early votes still coming in via YouTube, but right now I'm seeing 100% of you are giving NXT War Games a thumbs up. Again, 100% of you are giving War Games a thumbs up. While I'm in here, I'm seeing that feedback has grown a bit more for NWA Hard Times 2, which we talked about on Saturday night. I'm saying that 7% of you are giving that show a thumbs down. Meanwhile, 93% of you are giving it a thumbs up. So to those of you that had cast a vote via YouTube channel, appreciate you guys. And let's see now what you guys are saying via Twitter here at the RCWR show. Twitter, I am seeing, where are we here? 18% of you are giving NXT War Games a thumbs down, while 82% of you are giving the show a thumbs up. And in regards to, hang on, let me go back. In regards to, in regards to NWA Hard Times 2, let's see what you guys are saying here. 37% of you are giving Hard Times 2 a thumbs down, while 63% of you are giving it a thumbs up. By the way, I saw so much disdain for Matt Cardona. Jesus. Jesus, you swore he like took the candy from some little kid or something and just, man, y'all don't really like that dude, huh? Interesting. We got a little bit of more NXT news that we can talk about real quick. First of all, shout out to Beth Phoenix, because we didn't get a chance to talk about this on the other show, because I think by the time the news broke, we actually were done. We actually were done with the show. So I'm seeing a question in the chat. The right ring or left ring? The right wing or left wing? Oh, we got somebody that's trying to talk politics. We don't talk politics when we're doing stuff like this. I mean, it's got to be pretty major when it comes to talking politics. So I apologize for those of you in the chat. Look, let me tell you guys something. I don't give a fuck how you guys vote. That ain't none of my business. The one thing I pride myself on when we do these shows, I do my best to not talk politics. As close as I will get to talking about real life shit as far as non-wrestling goes, you know, we talked about it earlier this week. We opened up Wednesday's show. We were talking about the tragic shooting that had went down there at that Oxford high school, with those lives that were lost. Now you see what's come about with the parents and all that. That's all I'm saying. I'm not getting any more into it, but when it comes to non-wrestling related stuff, I mean, look, we're talking about movies, things like that, cool. But when we're talking about real life shit, I made a vow not to get into the talk of politics as far as, left wing, right wing, CNN and CNN is the devil and all. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So you guys might want to go elsewhere for that stuff. Letting you know that right now. Anthony's got a good question, and it's wrestling related, and it's NXT related. He wants to know, what are my predictions for who I think is the shaman for MSK as far as who's going to be revealed on this Tuesday's NXT? I've been thinking about that off and on, and I'm surprised nobody else has asked me this question. And I'm surprised that no one else online has really taken a crack at this. If they have, I haven't seen anything of it. But for me personally, what I would love to see happen as far as who is the shaman for MSK, Rob Van Dam. Come on, it makes all the sense in the world. He is like the ultimate fucking granddaddy-o when it comes to all things weed, and I mean, he is notorious for that shit. Just fucking notorious. So who better to be the shaman than freaking Rob Van Dam? When you think wrestling, weed, you think Rob Van Dam. Give me another name. If not Rob Van Dam, who else are you thinking of when it comes to wrestling and weed that is like at that level, that's going to have you mark out and go, oh, snap. You know what I'm saying? So that would be pretty badass. And look, WWE still has a really good relationship with Rob Van Dam. Contrary to what all had went down several years back, remember when Rob Van Dam had lost the ECW championship and the WWE championship, in the same week basically, and they eventually let his ass go. Remember, Rob Van Dam ultimately came back to the WWE, and bygones were bygones. He came back to the WWE. My God, what time frame was that? It felt like when Rob Van Dam resurfaced, it was like maybe it felt like 2014 to maybe 2015-ish. No, it was no, it was actually 2019-ish. He came back to the WWE, from what I remember. So, I mean, depending on how good he is with WWE, I could see them, you know, entertaining something like that for giggles. You're asking me for my personal... See, that's the thing. You got to phrase it just right. Either you're asking me for what would be my personal pick, or just looking at the current landscape of NXT, thinking about all the talents that signed and all that. You know, what I personally would like, what would have me mark out, is if it was Rob Van Dam. So, yeah, when you guys ask me questions, you got to make sure when you're phrasing the questions, you're phrasing them in a way where it's like, you're either asking me for my personal pick, or you're just asking for a general pick. That way I know which one you're looking for. Because that's my personal pick. I would go with Rob Van Dam. That's just me. But again, and I hate to sound like a broken record, I don't watch NXT as much as I used to watch it back when it was black and gold. I just, nowadays, I find myself watching NXT days after it's aired, and I'm doing a lot of fast forwarding. I am like probably 4 episodes behind on NXT. I didn't even get a chance to really watch their last show that they did going into tonight's War Games. So what I saw tonight, will it have me try to check out a little bit more NXT? No, but I'm still going to watch just enough to know what's going on. And that way, you know, because now I'm more interested in seeing what's going on with MLW. I'm definitely interested in seeing what's going on with Impact, because we got some interesting stuff that's going on with Impact right now, especially with this whole Matt Cardona ordeal and his involvement with the NWA there. So as far as like asking me in-depth questions about NXT 2.0, right now I'm not the guy. I'm not the guy to be asking, because I only know but so much. I would have to at least catch up on a month worth of episodes to really, okay, here's where I think we're going with this. Okay, here's where I think we're going with that. Right down to the point, originally, the only reason why we even have this War Games post-show is because you, the subscribers and or longtime listeners, voted for War Games post-show. You guys were given an option. We were either going to cover, we were either going to do our Wrestling with the Topics series, or we were going to do a War Games post-show. And I let you guys decide. And like over like 70-something% of you guys had said, nah, we want a War Games post-show. So y'all got to pat yourselves on the back for that. Now, there is some other NXT news I did want to get into. I like these questions, by the way. Don't think I actually like it, because honestly, other than NXT, we're the pay-per-view itself, we're pretty much done. But there is an NXT related piece of news that I want to share with you guys. I was alluding to it earlier. Beth Phoenix, she's done with WWE as far as, you know, being a full-time commentator for the promotion goes. At the time that the news had broke out, we pretty much were on a little bit of a break for a couple of days, you know, but she had put out a really nice little thing on social media. If you guys did not get a chance to read what she had said, I will read it to you right now. It's actually very brief. And let's see here. Here's what she had said. And here's what she had said. And I quote. There we go. I got it loading up. Ahead of War Games, I wanted to share that this Sunday will be my final night in NXT. While I will remain a part of WWE, I have made the choice to step away from the weekly broadcast booth to spend more time with my family. This was not an easy decision, as I have loved my 3+ years and 135 episodes with NXT, and I'm incredibly proud of the brand. I will forever be grateful to Vic Joseph, Wade Barrett, Nigel McGuinness, Tom Phillips, Mauro Ranallo, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Michael Cole, and my entire NXT family, both in and out of the ring, for the amazing opportunity. NXT will always be a part of me, and Aunt Betty will always be a part of NXT. Leave the porch light on for me. So, you know, that's pretty much what she had said in a nutshell. Look, man, the kids that she has with Edge, they're still relatively young. Okay, so that can be, look, when we were talking about at the start of the pandemic, sure, go in one day, do several tapings or whatever, or just go in for one day of tapings, go back home, you're chilling for the rest of the week and everything, right? I mean, that was nice. That was very nice. But now that we're starting to really get back out there on the road and everything, right? Gonna be away a little bit more. Factor into also is she just released, what is it, a country album? Right? So maybe she wants to, but it's possible, maybe she wants to try and support that, do some limited tours within reason, or maybe do some type of virtual concerts, things of that nature, right? So, you know, it's not goodbye. I still feel we're going to be seeing her from time to time. Maybe she's going to call something 3, 4, 5 months down the road or whatever like that. But look, not for nothing, Beth Phoenix has been involved with the WWE for a long time. And honestly, it's not goodbye. It's not goodbye. It may feel like it, but it's not goodbye. I would not be surprised if we saw her a lot sooner rather than later, but God bless her, whatever she decides she wants to do. But you want to pick my brain personally, am I going to miss her when it comes to her commentating? Yeah, I'm definitely going to miss her because she had a unique approach to commentary. I got to say that. I got to say that. We heard how it was with Renee Young, and we all knew as fans, nah, man, this isn't where Renee Young is most strongest. No, Renee is strongest on Talking Smack or whatever that FS1 show they had a while back. You know, that's her element. She's good with stuff like that. And as we see with her podcast, she's pretty damn good in that realm as well, right? She's very good in those post-shows, pre-shows. Those were her strengths. Trying to have her do color commentating for a wrestling show week to week. Yes, she did struggle very early on. But I tell you what, it seemed as though Renee was just starting to piece it all together right when she was making her exit. Don't believe me, go check out probably the last 3 weeks worth of shows that she was doing for WWE. I mean, everything was finally clicking between her, Corey Graves, Michael Cole, right? Yeah, was really clicking. Was really fucking clicking. So, but with Beth just, it fit her so perfectly, man. It fit her so perfectly. You know, not once did I ever, and this is no shade to Renee Young, not once did I ever go, okay, it's obvious we're going in this direction because it's a female. I only felt that way with certain, but with Beth Phoenix on commentary, I never felt that way. I always felt, well, fuck yeah, but can she hang? Was my question. Day one she opened her mouth on color commentating, I was like, okay, all right, there's a lot of potential there. Give her a handful of months, we'll see what happens. And at that time, she was with who? Nigel McGuinness and Mauro Ranallo, right? So, I mean, what a great team to learn off of. And she did pretty damn good, I would have to say. She did pretty damn good for herself. So, Me personally, it sucks, but she's got to do what she's got to do. She's got young kids and she's got a husband and all of that stuff. So, God bless her. Other than that, as far as any other little NXT tidbits of news, I see the big thing that's got a lot of people talking right now is the Shawn Michaels stuff. Shawn Michaels comments about NXT and everything. He even talked about Triple H. Not that long ago that Triple H had got that heart procedure done on him. That was back in September. And the guy is pretty much still out right now. So they're pretty much holding down the fort, right? Triple H pretty much had laid down the blueprint. He set up the table. Boys and girls that are in place right now are pretty much running through with it, and they're doing the best that they can to their ability and all that. But we'll talk a lot more about Shawn Michaels and what he said on Monday's show for you guys, because it's NXT, but we'd be going in a whole other direction. But just note that I am aware of what's been going on with that little chatter that's been having people all up in a frenzy. But I think for now, we got about an hour and 21 minutes of a post show. I'll tell you what, one more time, let's see what the polling results are saying as far as War Games tonight. Let's see what's going on one more time here. All right, so Twitter, we're at now. See what you guys are saying here. And right now we are at, hang on here. 18% of you are giving War Games tonight a thumbs down, while 82% of you are giving it a thumbs up. All right, shout out to those of you that voted via Twitter. And then let's see what's going on with you guys via YouTube here. YouTube over on the communities tab. Hey, the voting's still early on YouTube, but it grew just a tiny bit since last I mentioned it. We're still holding strong at 100% thumbs up for War Games tonight. So if you didn't vote yet, go with the poll that you feel best represents the majority and go vote that way. Programming notes, we are going to be live with you guys, because it's already beginning of Monday? Yeah, I'm going to be live with you guys Monday night, December 6th, 2021, after WWE Raw goes off the air. So that'll be a nice, fun episode. We'll talk about Raw. We'll dive into what Shawn Michaels had recently said in regards to NXT. Definitely on Triple H. Had sent a lot of people in frenzy, some of the things that Shawn Michaels had said in regards to NXT. So we'll talk about that. Also, it's the end of an era, as WWE recently revealed this week. Well, it's a new week now, but pretty much right before the week was out, they revealed that no more, as far as their home video division, us getting WWE DVDs, Blu-rays, and all that, no more. End of an era. So we'll talk about that on Monday and loads more. It's going to be a nice loaded up episode, so tune in for that. For you NWA fans, Tuesday we'll have a new NWA Power post show for you guys. Wednesday we're on the saddle again. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all those consecutive days, we got some solid shows that's lined up for you guys. If you haven't done so already, make sure on your way out you hit that like button. When you do that, helps me out a big ton, especially since it's free. You really help us out as far as our content getting recommendations go by the YouTube team, helping other people discover the content with ease. So do that, and thanks. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button too. Hit that sub. Hit that sub. You hit that sub, click the bell, get those notifications. You'll always know about upcoming content. Shout out to everybody that had tuned in live. Great, as always. Shout out to those of you that's going to be checking this out for on demand and on the downloads. Until next go around, wishing all of y'all to be safe and most importantly, be kind to one another. I will see you next go around. Y'all take